Thanks for tuning in to Shawnee Union, and this is a quick midweek video. And I had this idea a couple weeks ago to build this Nikon camera database. And the Nikon camera database basically is built on two databases, PBase, which this is, and Camerapedia. And my thought was that Nikon has released a lot of cameras over time. I noticed that there was a lot of Nikon releases that were really close together. And there's a term that I looked at that kind of explained this, and it's called satisfice. And satisfice means that you just use your available option. So you think if you create something, and if it's good enough, you use it. And I think that this is the difference between what Nikon did earlier in the 1960s and what they're doing today. So today, you're going to see a lot more releases every single year. You're going to see that things are kind of not fully finished, and they're just releasing these cameras, almost releasing beta versions and alpha versions, things like that, not releasing full versions. So I kind of wanted to take the data from this first website, PBase, and put all these cameras as rows in a database, or rows in a table, and then pull out this information from Camerapedia, which is probably like the Wikipedia of cameras. It's a really great website, has everything you want, and getting this information here. So getting the camera, getting the year, and then type of camera. I ended up using a service called Fiverr, which is pretty cool. You pay someone $5 and they can do some internet research for you. It's actually a really cool site if you can check it out. After doing that, I ended up with this database right here. You can see Nikon cameras, and it has all these model numbers. And I put a link to this in the description. It has all those cameras on those two websites. It has the year, and it has the type. It has the type of camera it is. It has the format. This type isn't very clear, but this type is a little bit more easier to understand. So now let's take this information and let's put it into charts. The first chart we're going to look at is Nikon camera releases since 1950. And you're going to see 1950, early 1950s, 1960s, not a lot of cameras released. And if there's some cameras missing, tell me, put it in the comments, but not a lot of cameras released, and the camera releases are few and far between. So this period up to like 1980s, and then 1990 gets closer, and you see a lot more of these cameras. And these are SLRs, looking at the color combinations. And then when we get into 2000, this is when digital starts taking off. You're going to see so many more cameras are released. And this is actually not, I don't think this is a good thing. I think this is the satisfying thing. So people are releasing cameras every other year just to release a camera every other year. You're not finishing your technology. You're not making finished products. You're releasing kind of these beta products and these test products. And you're giving it to the consumer, so the consumer actually ends up like paying for it. They're getting something that's going to go bad. But if you look in these early 1960s, 1970s, these cameras were built for a longer period of time of use. And that's what I think it's kind of missing with the camera industry right now. We're building phones, and we're building cameras as, hey, it's not going to be good in 3 or 4 years. And it's kind of sad. And this is even more interesting when you start to look at it by film type. So the next chart is splitting it by film type. You're going to see here when we put digital on top and we put film on the bottom, you're going to see how big of a change this is. So you don't have much years where there's even 10 cameras released, and this is so film cameras on the bottom, digital cameras on top. But then when you get into the 2000s, you're gonna see that they released almost 3 times as many cameras in the late 2000s. So I think there's about 2012, 2011, almost 30 cameras. And before that, they never even hit 10. So Nikon is clearly, releasing more cameras recently, and I don't know if that's a good thing. A lot of these are point and shoots, or a lot of these are cheaper cameras, and that's the way camera companies are going. They're releasing a lot more cheaper cameras. They're releasing some fewer SLRs, and these are a totally new category, so mirrorless. But you look in up till 2000, the camera releases were pretty few and far between. I think they were better cameras. They're building cameras so you could grow into them and you can use them for 10 or 12 years, and that's what's kind of missing a lot now in the film industry. I think they're just trying to release as many cameras as they can so people can buy as many cameras as they can afford, but it's hurting the camera industry. And cameras also, another thing is, cameras back in the 1950s, 1960s were a lot more. So when you're buying a $200 camera, it's about $2,000 in today's money. So cameras cost a lot more, but with that extra cost, I think people expected the cameras to last longer. Hopefully that doesn't sound like too much of a rant. And one new thing is, if you want to see a specific camera featured on this channel, please put it in the comments. I'm at the point where this channel is making enough money where I can go after certain cameras. So if you want to see a camera that hasn't been featured, or you want to see something that hasn't been featured and you'd like me to do it, please just put it in the comments. Also, remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you guys want to see more. Hey, thanks. Bye.